ability. You think I'm fun just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it. My bones, I'm coming for the coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I never kissed the rain. Ice runs in my veins. Won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it. My bones, I'm coming for it, coming for it. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
All right, guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday, January 21st. It is Wednesday. Don't forget today is trash day. Take those trash cans out to the street. Make your wife proud. Anya, good morning to you. Who else we got in here? A couple of Korean names I can't pronounce. Yo, 9999. Good morning, Big Ads. What is up? We got a couple of news items to go over, especially if you didn't tune in yesterday morning or last night to the live stream. Headstock Harem tuning in from the bitter north. I was just talking to Mediocre up there in the far northeast. I was talking to Mediocre Trader this morning, and he was telling me it's bitter cold up there. You know, down here in Texas, it's actually pretty nice this morning. I think we're getting ours this weekend, but it's pretty nice for most of this week, like in the mid 60s. But we're gonna have a cold snap and a freeze on Saturday, Sunday, I think. And man, I saw some pictures. The lines out the store here were incredible on Tuesday, yesterday. Everybody's stocking up on toilet paper, bread, and milk, I guess. Anya says it is warm in Maryland, 24 degrees. Dink was saying he was setting up a 10 by 10 tent to do some work on his truck in the snow. And I'm like, man, I'd just let those engine lights stay on till the spring if it was me. I don't like that cold weather. Ryan, what's up? AMC. Ryan likes AMC. We might talk some AMC a little bit today, but I want to start off recapping the GameStop news in case you weren't aware. If you're living under a rock, again, my coverage on a stock is not an inducement for you to buy. I'm covering tickers that I'm either interested in. Sometimes I cover tickers that I own, and sometimes I cover tickers that I don't own. You'll have to guess which it is. I'm just kidding. I'll tell you what it is if you ask. But I like to say that my coverage of a stock is not an inducement for you to buy, because there are a lot of people that just assume if you put a ticker name in a title, or you dare even to report an article, that you're trying to funnel people into it. And let's be more grown up than that. I want this channel to be the adults in the room. You make your own decisions. You're here for the entertainment. You're here for the news. You are grown up to make your own decisions when to punch the buy button, when to punch the sell button, and when to comfortably hold if you selected the buy at the right time and the right ticker. GameStop yesterday announcing after hours that two insiders made purchases. The CEO, Ryan Cohen, a major purchase, 500,000 shares at just over $21. We went over the filings last night, and then board member Alan Attal also bought a smaller number of shares. But, you know, just like when we see insiders selling, if it is a troubled company, that is something that we report on is, hey, that's a red flag, yellow flag you should be aware of. We also want to wave the celebration flag when we have insider buys, especially, you know, in my world, GameStop is still a speculative trade, but insider buys give us bulls. I am long GameStop. I'll reveal the secret. I am long GameStop. Us bulls like to see insider buys. It gives you some comfort when they're buying at this price level. I have been buying at this price level. My cost basis is just slightly below where we're at right now. So I'm living on the edge right now on a spec trade, hoping for a turnaround to play out further over the next several quarters, and more importantly for me to watch for proper deployment of the company's $8.8 billion in cash over, I don't know, the next couple years. I'm not in any rush. I've got a good, comfortable entry. I'm not in the red. Unless I think the market itself tanks, I'm probably going to be okay. I think it'll be a comfortable hold $4 million. It's not my entire life. It's not my entire portfolio. I don't want you guys putting all your money in one stock. Have some diversification, have some fun. There's a lot of good plays out there. But we like to see insider buys. And I think that is worth reiterating. Not only did they buy, Ryan Cohen considerable buy, but in my mind, it kind of cements the floor. Now, I'm not going to come on my live stream with a rocket helmet on because the stock is up 60 cents. That's just silly. We don't have any antics that the cult is looking for over here. We just, again, we're the adults in the room. We have common sense analysis, reasonable valuations. We look at the financials. We don't lie to you about them. I don't tell you GameStop has $11 billion in cash with no debt like the others do. I don't know what to say about what others are doing. All I can do is tell you that I'm bullish and I'm long, and make your own decisions. All right? Is that fair? The next ticker that we're going to talk about, ONDS, Ondas Holdings, had their Investor Day conference last week, virtual. We covered that here on the channel. You can find the live stream, or I'd go watch the video because I missed a few minutes on the live stream. Watch the video on my channel, not the live stream tab. And I said on that day that during the live stream that really what could be telling for ONDS is there were a lot of good analyst questions after the presentation. It was a couple-hour presentation by management. And I said, let's watch and see if we get some analyst upgrades. And we have. We have now, yesterday and today. And I think those are worth noting also. Again, we're going to have to very carefully decide where is a buy-in for ONDS. And that is up to you. I have a demand zone where I feel like it's relatively safe at $7 to $8, and we're smacking up against a supply zone right now at $13, $14, which, like I have said on many stocks, if we break through a supply zone to the upside, things could get very exciting. You can have interesting runs up if you're able to break through. Right now, investors and the market are going to have to decide if they snub it here or if there's enough bullish momentum to push it up. What might push it up? Analysts listened to the presentation last week, and now 4 or 5 of them have upped their 12-month price target. We have Amit over at H.C. Wainwright increasing his price target from $12 to $25. Austin Bolig at Needham increasing his price target from $12 to $17. Timothy over at Oppenheimer increasing his price target from $12 to $16. And Max over at Lake Street increasing his price target from $10 to $19. And Jonathan over at Stifel, he also increased his price target this morning, I think. He previously had $17 on there. Let's see what he has now. Why Stifel turns more bullish on Ondas after Investor Day update. Ondas Holdings drew fresh support from Wall Street after hosting a recent virtual Investor Day, where the company laid out plans for its drone and autonomous systems business. I kind of call Ondas one of the reasons it's going to be one of the tickers I focus on for the rest of this year, maybe into next year, unless they stumble and get kicked off our list. They're kind of becoming, for governments and the defense industry, they're trying to become the Amazon of drones and autonomous systems. And I'm not going to do a whole sales pitch. Go watch the Investor Day presentation and look at the wide variety of offerings that they are setting up on the menu. And it's pretty impressive. And they just raised $1 billion to help fund even more acquisitions to set up the menu for governments around the world. The company Stifel raised its 2026. Oh, sorry. No, this is Ondas. In the investor presentation, the company raised its 2026 revenue target to between 170 to 180 million, citing a growing pipeline and improving visibility. Following the event, top Stifel analyst Jonathan Seagum raised his price target to $18 from $17. So we have Jonathan down here. They haven't updated it here on stockanalysis.com, but he is now at $18 and he was at $13 before that. Mr. Jonathan Siegman said the investor day increased his confidence in Ondas long-term story. You heard me talk about that during the investor day. It seemed very bullish to me if they are able to execute to the plan they laid out, especially its position in the military drone market. They have not only drones, but counter drones. Very interesting stuff. And like drone in a box type solutions where you can have multiple drones in a box. They go out, do their mission, come back, swap out their batteries, recharge, all automated. Pretty cool stuff. He noted that the company's revenue and growth targets were well above his earlier estimates and showed clearer progress across the business. He added that the presentation also gave him a better understanding of how Ondas stands out in the defense drone space where demand continues to rise. We like stocks if we can get in them early enough where the demand is rising. We like that on this channel. I don't know about you, but I like increasing revenues, increasing total addressable market. And this one kind of fits the bill in a lot of ways. But for me, it's still speculative because they have to execute to the plan, right? So just keep that in mind as we're getting excited about this stuff. I will act excited about it. I am excited about it, but I'm also a realist. They got to deliver to our expectations, and we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of years. But this has the potential to be a very interesting stock. And if you look at what they forecast for where their revenue is headed by 2028 in the presentation last week, you'll know what I'm talking about. We got a 12-month price target that we just went over from 5-6 different analysts, but we are looking out to 2028 for this trade. Not all of my trades are day trades, swing trades, momentum trades. I'm always looking for tickers that we could hold comfortably for a couple years, as long as management is delivering to the expectations that they set. And I think they kind of go on about that in this article here. He says, at the same time, Siegmund acknowledged that Ondas is still early in building its business. Yes, that is true. Even so, he pointed to the speed of recent progress as a positive sign. Over the past 6 months, the company has raised $1.8 billion, acquired new technology, partnered with major contract manufacturers, and strengthened its leadership team. A bunch of 5-star generals on the leadership team. Overall, Siegmund believes these steps are helping Ondas move faster and build a stronger base for growth. And as a result, he expects 2026 to be an important year for the company and sees potential for the stock to perform well as execution continues. This is my first time reading this article, but it's funny to kind of hear them repeat back what I've been telling you guys for a week about this stock. As long as execution continues, then this could be an interesting play. So maybe put it on your list if you're looking to have a reasonably diversified portfolio like Tony DeNaro tries to tell you to do. Cheers to the haters. Cheers to the haters. The haters don't want you to have a diversified portfolio. They don't want you to have reasonable analysis. I don't get it. I don't get it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get it. Since when did managing risk, looking for multiple profitable opportunities, I'm not saying own everything out there. You could, if you don't have time to keep up with these, go buy an index matching ETF and just sleep easy at night. You don't got to worry about anything. But if you got time and you like to try and beat the market, you got to really be sharp, and you need to put a lot of hours in, a lot of hours of research. If you like doing that, you kind of pick your top favorite 12 stocks maybe in different segments. And by top favorites, I don't mean Finger, GTII, GNS, MMTLP, AMC, and GameStop. That's a basket of of speculative tickers. I want you to have some good ones in there as your core, and the speculative ones are what wake us up every day and keep it fun. But keep that risk managed properly, because you don't want to have your entire portfolio subject to what we call company specific risk. If you're only invested in one company and that company has any stumble you didn't foresee, you're fucked. And I don't want to see you lose your entire portfolio on one company. It's fine if you love one of them the best. We all have our favorite child, right? But protect yourselves. Be smart. This is common sense advice, which is routinely booed out there on YouTube and social media. And a lot of people don't want you to have common sense, I guess. I don't know. All right. Someone asked about AMC. AMC is moving today. Look at that, up 7%. We're still on what I call 8K watch for AMC. That's about all I'm going to say on that. My leading theory is that a 30-day VWAP measurement period ended on around July 8th or 9th. And so we saw the end of the shorting, the return of the price increase back to a more normal range, and an increase in volume. My belief is my belief is at some point around here, the lenders are going to exchange 154 million worth of exchangeable notes for shares, and then they're going to unload them ahead of a February ATM announcement by the company. So they want right now the price to go up. They want to sell their shares to you before AMC announces $150 million ATM on February 2nd. That's my DD. I get it. It's not very popular. You can boo me in April if there is no ATM. But we've laid out the reasons why from the company filings. I'm just not making stuff up to sound like a bad news bearer. I'm just reading company filings and divining the tea leaves, looking at the breadcrumbs, if you will. I have no position in this stock until I find out what happens with the ATM offering. Hycroft this morning, coming down a little bit. There was some news. I guess Trump decided he's not going to take over Greenland. Is that right? Stocks rebound from big sell-off after Trump rules out military action on Greenland. I guess what? He changed his mind since I went to sleep last night. Stocks rose after Donald Trump told the World Economic Forum he would not use force to acquire Greenland, easing a concern that has rattled markets and caused a flight from dollar-based assets. You know, he said he's not going to invade other countries and then invades them the next day. So I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. But the markets like that he is saying he's not going to use force to acquire Greenland. Trump's, and so equities go up. I haven't even looked at bonds this morning, but it is normal then in that scenario for gold and silver to come back down a little bit. And so that is what we're seeing on Hycroft. Metals selling off a little bit. $48.62 Hycroft was at in pre-market today. What a trade, up probably 3,000% from recent lows. Hell of a trade. Hell of a trade. Congrats to all Hycroft longs, especially the ones who had the balls to go in and buy this stock under $2. $2 to $48 in mere months, thanks to the run up in silver and gold. Webull is another stock that we're watching for a long-term play on this channel. Very difficult ticker to analyze the financials for me, anyways. It's more difficult than others, but I do have a position in Webull right around the current price. I have my buys. I don't have my buys on here. $7 and something. And I think I said in the Discord, I'd like to add if it dropped to $7.25. Yeah, here in this demand zone. If it drops into here, I'll be adding to my position. And I'm kind of looking at this as a couple year play. You remember how Robinhood just languished for a long time before it got anybody's attention? I don't think Webull is going anywhere. I don't think the company sucks. And so I'm just doing a very slow, patient accumulation. I'm not trying to go all in here. I'm not telling you to load the boat on Webull. It's just one that every now and then when the right opportunity presents itself, I'll be adding some shares on weakness. Analysts on Webull have price targets of $16 average. There are 2 analysts currently covering it. One has a price target of $15 and one has a price target of $18. We're trading at 7 and change. So we'll see how Webull executes over the next year and how the markets go. They recently started offering bonds. They recently started offering crypto. Again, they're expanding into additional countries. A lot of good stuff happening behind the scenes at Webull. And you know, we'll see how the execution goes. I don't think it's a shitty company. It's just one that needs to execute, and then maybe we get lucky and get a 2xer on this one. We'll see. One other ticker that I'm covering on this channel is Railtown, RLAIF on the OTC. If you're up in Canada, it trades on the CSE under the ticker symbol RAIL. RAIL, R-A-I-L. In the US, not available on all brokers because it is OTC. You can for sure buy it on the bigger brokers, and make sure you're using one that doesn't charge you a $5 fee for every buy. RLAIF. This is a Canadian sovereign AI play. Pre-revenue. This is the riskiest of the basket. Well, the only thing riskier than pre-revenue is losing money and having to do continual dilution. This company, we have drawn the map. They are just waiting to connect the next dot from pre-revenue to reported revenue, imminent. In the next 6 months, they acquired AIP. They signed a deal with TELUS, which is a tech giant up in Canada that built a hyperscaler facility. And Railtown is going to be integrated into that hyperscaler facility, doing a revenue share with TELUS. We don't have the details on the revenue share. I'm not going to speculate on it. And if I do, it's going to be very conservative. There's some wild numbers being thrown out on YouTube that people speculating that the hyperscaler, the people that have the employees, the building, the land investment, the buying NVIDIA chips, the energy, there are people speculating they're going to give 20 to 50% of their revenue to Railtown. To me, that sounds a little bit silly, a little bit over optimistic. But these people that I'm talking about tend to be over optimistic on every play that they've ever covered. And I just, you know, I have a very humble, conservative revenue expectation. And I am hopeful, because I do call this one speculative, that as it flips from pre-revenue to revenue, that we get an adjustment on the price. It was recently trading as high as 68 cents. I've been doing the bulk of my purchases on this ticker in the last month. 90% of my shares have been bought in the last month. I did buy a couple up here in the mid 40s, hoping that the AIP merger, which we knew was imminent, would jettison us up, but it didn't. And that's why I only go in light when we're in the no-no zone. This supply and demand zones I've had drawn for a long time, since June or July on this ticker. This is where we want to buy. This is where we consider selling, depending on the circumstances. And I'm hoping we rocket right through this. But in here is kind of the no-no zone. You want to be careful with your buys in here, because it hasn't peaked, or it has peaked twice. And if it rejects, as I said back in July, if it rejects here, be careful, use caution. And that's what I do. When I say use caution, I'm telling you, I'm telegraphing to you what I'm doing. I'm not trying to buy every price all the way down. I'm waiting to see it either retrace to previous lows or form a new base. And that's kind of where we're at. And that's why I'm talking about Railtown again. I think that we're in a relatively safe price range right here. I get it. It's frustrating. If you were listening to those other people telling you buy at any price, you're never going to get it cheaper, you're probably frustrated. That was not this channel. I did not say buy at any price, every price. No. We're in I feel, a safe zone. Could it go lower? Sure, it could go lower. I have existing good till canceled buy orders below the demand zone in case it does drop down. Because I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that when they announce revenue between now and June, July, that maybe we get a little uptick. Even for me, I mean, I don't know. If it went from 24 cents to 50 and I double my money on an easy hold, that's okay. If it goes to $1 or $2, not too shabby. There are people telling folks it's going to $55. Not this channel. I mean, like I said, that seems a little bit crazy, but sometimes crazy things can happen in the AI world. I'd take that. I would take that, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to give you a price target like that. Let's just see what happens. Let's see what the revenue is. Let's not make up numbers. It's good enough in my book to be positive, to know that the revenue's coming, and just wait on management execution. Kleindropper says, I don't have Hycroft stock, but has my Hycroft NFT gone up in value? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. But hey, if you bought Hycroft coins back in the day, those silver doubloons, as I call them, those have probably doubled in value, huh? Yo, 99.99 says, I've been waiting for GME under $19. Is that, he says, I have been waiting, and GME still under $19. You're waiting for it to come under 19 bucks? I mean, when we look at the chart, I guess that is technically possible. I have my demand zone here between like 18.75 and 20 bucks where I prefer to buy. But I've been buying even as it gets very close to the top of this demand zone. $20 and change. 2015, 2050, 2060. I've had a lot of buys on this stock down here when it gets to these lows. If it went to 19 on no news, just the shorts manipulating it down, I would probably buy more. A little bit, you know. I'm not saying load up your entire portfolio with GameStop, but if my thesis is that over the next several years, GameStop is going to properly deploy their cash, and it's okay if you don't believe that. That's my belief. That's why I'm bullish. It's speculative. I get it. It's not a defensible argument. I get it. It's a belief. It's a trust. And some people don't trust Ryan Cohen. I think he has good intentions. I could be proven wrong. But if I believe over the next couple years that he is going to properly deploy that cash to move the company towards the compensation goals that he's trying to get shareholders to approve of cumulative EBITDA market cap, then do I really care if I buy at $19 or $20 or $21? I don't. I just want to buy it as cheap as possible. For me, this is not a buy every day at any price stock. No surprise, just like any other ticker. I like to buy when it's really, really cheap. Don't always get the bottom, but we try and do our best. And if we have breakouts above a supply zone, I will watch those very closely for potential momentum trades. Depending on the news, I might even buy, way up here. I might not sell it. If it's moving on strength and news, I might keep buying as long as it's moving up. We will see when we get there. I'm not predicting any crazy price action right now. I'm not. We got to wait for earnings. We got to wait for earnings or some other news. Q4 ends at the end of this month. It'll be 6 weeks after that. We'll see how it went. We know they're closing stores. Revenue is going to go down, but over the next couple quarters, we'll see that revenue go down. But I think we will also see the margins go up if GameStop is doing these closures in an accretive manner. So we'll see. Since I can't predict the future with absolute certainty, I am required by my own conscience to call this a speculative play. I wish I could tell you, I wish I could promise you, guarantee you like the other channels do. They know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I have my beliefs, and until I can defend them with multiple quarters of data and management guidance, I'm going to call this speculative. You can hate me for that. I'm not trying to be subtle bearish. I just have come to the realization there's a lot of people out there on social media that don't want to take personal accountability for their choices. They are always looking for someone to blame, and it's not going to be this guy. Go blame the people who promised you something. We don't do that here. I try and be as transparent as I can. If I'm bearish on something, I will tell you, and I will lay out why I'm not in a trade. If I'm bullish on something, I will tell you that, and I'll tell you when I bought, what I bought at, and why I'm bullish. Yeah, that's why we're all here, right? To share ideas, to share beliefs. You can have beliefs different than me. Some of my best education comes from people that have a different opinion. As long as you can present your case like an adult. We don't ban people here for having different ideas. We only ban children. People that cannot communicate like an adult. If your response is a clown emoji, well, you are not adult enough to put together a coherent rebuttal to anything. We don't want you here. You disagree, lay your case out. Let's get it on record so we can review it in a couple months together. I'm bullish. It's okay if you don't like me being bullish, but I also can see that there are some unknowns out there, and I can't make promises. Anya says Schwab charges $6.95 for each Railtown trade, so I buy in bundles. Or, Anya, open up another account. Get you a Fidelity or something. Jersey Recycler says that's why I don't scalp trade on OTC markets due to high commission rates. Crystal Ball is still in the shop. I do my best to forecast things. And when I have defendable DD, like, look, I forecast starting in July, since November of 2024, I have forecast what was going to happen to AMC and laid out to you why I exited the trade. That was a bearish call. I exited the trade in November of 2024, and I laid out my due diligence, a defensible due diligence, because everything that I'm looking at is coming from company filings. I'm not making up some I hate Adam Aaron narrative. Adam Aaron's working with the shorts. I don't I don't need to make up narratives. I just read the filings, analyze the financials, and you can create a defendable due diligence set of instructions of what you should do with the trade. We're just about at the final boss of my negative due diligence. I think once the ATM is out in February, and the price collapses a little bit more, then if that all plays out like I've been expecting since July of last year, then maybe we have a speculative moment to come back in AMC and get a little upside. We'll see. I will tell you when I flip from right now. I'm in the cautious, don't own. I don't own. You can own it. I don't care what you do. Just talking about me. I don't own, and I'm watching. I'm waiting, watching and waiting. I want to come in there and snap it up when it's dirt cheap and people have had their conviction obliterated, and the price is on the floor. Then I want to come in and ride it into the sunset of a better end to 2026 box office. Yo 9999 says, any opinion on open after Trump actions? Haven't. That's not a ticker I've been watching closely. If I have time today, I'll take a look at it and see if I have anything interesting to share this evening. Anya says, he who lives by the crystal ball will eat shattered glass. I like that one, Anya. Also, he who only lives by the chart. If you only live by the chart and you're not reading company filings, you're probably gonna be in trouble. Jersey says, nice little move up, and GameStop definitely drawing AMC up a bit. Yeah, I mean, we've been thinking that AMC was going to go up anyways once the VWAP period was over, and it has. And I think that there'll be a little bit of lenders dumping those 100 million of shares over the period of weeks between now and February 2nd. So it's going to act as a little bit of a ceiling on AMC's price, but they would prefer in general for the price to go up so they can increase their profits insanely even more. You know, for them, a 25-30% profit in a couple weeks is a good trade. They're not looking for moonshots here. These distressed debt lenders who just got shares in an exchangeable note exchange, they're not looking for moonshots. If one fell in their lap, they'd certainly take it. But for them, 20-30%, 40, 50, beautiful. They'll take whatever they can get. And then they'll get their money back and they can invest that in the next distressed debt deal. AMC up 8% today, 169. We like to see it though. GameStop, as we wrap up here for the morning, at 21.75, up 3%, up 65 cents. I'm going to hang out about 3 more minutes in case you guys have questions. And then off to refill the cup of coffee, make some breakfast, get my morning exercise set in, and see what else is going on in the world. Let's check a couple of other things here in the news. European markets mostly in the green. Asian markets closed in the red. 10-year just slightly in the red. Oil at 60. Brent at 64. We were talking in the Discord, and I'm just going to throw this out to you guys. If you are someone who is particularly fond of following the oil industry and the oil tickers, I'd like to hear from you in the comments now or when the live stream is over. What do you like? Because, you know, when we're looking at a 5-year chart here, I'm just kind of looking at highs of 118. We're all the way back down to 60 now. I don't know how The lows of 2020 were 19, 20 bucks. But this is not a industry, kind of like pharmaceuticals. It's not something that I follow super closely to pick out tickers, but I'm not opposed to diversifying by adding an oil company. I want to know what you're watching. Give me a couple to check into, if that is you. Crypto this morning. Bitcoin at 90,000. All right. It recovered a little bit from the lows last night, which were 88,000. Good to see. I would like, for GameStop's sake, I would like to see Bitcoin close as high as possible at the end of this year. We still got 10 days to go. I'm trying not to comment on it, but, if it's below 106, they're going to have a unrealized loss, and we'd like to trim that loss to as small of a number as possible, not 40, 50, 80 million. We don't want to see that, but we could see it. I'm not going to focus on it until the quarter is over, and then we'll see where we're at. Yes, I'm aware there are people saying that GameStop sold or is in the process of selling. Maybe they are. I don't speculate on that stuff. I don't even really care whether they have a realized loss because they decide to sell or an unrealized loss because they decide to hold. That's Ryan Cohen's business. And I trust that he is trying to do the best thing he can to manage risk. And whatever he decides, buy, hold, or sell, is not really part of my long-term thesis for GameStop. I'm long-term bullish on crypto. If we're talking 5 or 10 years out, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Don't really care. Jersey Recycler. Oh, thank you for reminding me about Finger. FNGR. I did take a position in that yesterday. Let's see how she's doing. Finger is not a ticker I'm recommending to you guys. I got a lot of problems over there, but it is what I call a retail momentum ticker. I got in yesterday, was it? Yesterday at 109. It's up 7% this morning. Not too bad, 116. If we look back at Finger, they have these pump and dump cycles typically tied to when the company needs to raise cash. And they do need to keep raising cash because they, for whatever reason, can't collect on their receivables. You can see my last buys in the end of 2024, a year ago, were around this same price level, $1.30, $1.08. It ran up to $5. Based on what? The CEOs talking about naked shorts, the pumpers that the company hires, the consultants disclosed in the documents. Whatever, I don't care. If it could move from $1 to $2, that's cool with me. I'm not going all in here. It's just fun to have a couple of these speculative plays when you can see the pattern and know that retail is highly focused on this stock and they will pile in if the promoters start pushing it again. That's the bet here. It's a coin toss. Does it get promoted before April? Before May? Does it get promoted, or do they just announce a reverse split and dilute? It's a coin toss which one it's going to be. If I was them, I'd try and promote it and then sell some shares. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. I don't know what they'll do. I like the run up, and I am long the stock. Very small position. Anya says, when are you dumping Finger? Anya, I'm looking for a 2x here at least. And last year we had to hold from December to late April before the real move began. Maybe you could say the movement began in March. So, for me, it's a slow accumulate. If they announced a reverse split, I'd probably dump it because I know what's coming. They need to raise money. We'll see. It's just something fun to talk about. David says, what happens if the Supreme Court comes back negative to Trump? I'm not going to cover politics on this channel, David. You want to talk politics? Come in the Discord and I will do it with you to your heart's content. Hallie, what's up? He says, I'm thinking GME is brewing something up in the background with PSA. Did you see the news? PSA bought Beckett. I did. Yep. And yes, we've seen the news about the supposed new website that GameStop is working on. That's been out. That news has been out for months. I posted it in the Discord, I don't know, a week or two ago. It's not worth it for me to pump a unannounced speculative website by the company GCX. This is not a pumper channel. This is not a cult channel. If the company announces something, then we'll cover it at that time. What do we have right now to talk about? You want me to tell you this website is for sure coming? I promise, I guarantee it. I'm not going to do that. But I did talk about it in the Discord. It is very interesting if it happens. Like I said, there's multiple reasons that I'm bullish on GameStop. Not all of them are defendable for me to talk about. Some of them are just hope. I'm very excited, Hallie, about hearing more about the further expansion of collectibles and the further expansion of power packs, the further expansion of digital trading cards, and any partnership details we can glean. I wish they would disclose a little bit more about exactly what is going on with power packs. We're all left to guess, and there's a wide variety of guesses. I have one. Jeremy over at Budget for Life has another theory about how it's being booked. I think it's interesting, to listen to someone like Jeremy who has different theories, and you could listen to my theories, and we'll just see who ends up being right. I have no guarantee for you that I am right. I believe my DD for me, but I could be completely wrong. We'll find out. I'm talking about his revenue targets were way too high. We get that. I'm just talking about the mechanics of how power packs works financially. There's people that think there's all sorts of revenue and earnings being hidden off the books. And I'm kind of a different viewpoint, that companies don't hide things off the books to surprise supplies. I don't think that they do that. But we'll find out. We'll find out. And I hope that in coming quarters that the company discloses a little bit more detail so all of us can quit guessing. I like to be able to plan. I like to be able to forecast. I like data. I like management communication. But in the meantime, it's fun to theorize and debate about it. Am I in the snow ice zone for this weekend? I am. Yep. We're gonna have freezing weather overnight for sure, with the potential of rain. So we will see. Hallie says, I think PSA plan is more in line with your long term. We like collectibles. We like PSA. We like digital trading cards. We like power packs. I'd like to see that excitement in the collectibles industry continue and GameStop further solidify their foot in the door. I'd love to see it. But the website, the GCX stuff, not really going to be a talking point on this channel until the company announces something, because this is not a cult. This is not a hopium channel. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in this morning. Probably will be on live this evening. We'll definitely be on 8K watch for AMC after market closes. What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for an 8K that says the exchangeable notes have been exchanged. That's what I'm waiting on. And then after that, we'll be on prospectus watch for an upcoming ATM. Go hug your loved ones. Call your mom and dad. Call your kids. Have a safe trading day. Be careful if you're out there on the snow and ice. And we will see you in the Discord. I'll be around all day. Take care.
A red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the short we're going on. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down. Buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. Buy the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the short we're going on. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. Green candle up and red candle down. By the tip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. GameStop's rising, going strong. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, show you care. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going on. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going on. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long. Hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down. By the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the short we're going on. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share.